Hi, thanks for tuning into Street Life. I'm Natasha, and today I am at State Farm Arena for NOSH, Atlanta's Black Restaurant Week food event. Let's go on in. Here at State Farm Arena. Alright, so I am here at NOSH
Culinary Showcase,
which is a part of Atlanta's Black Restaurant Week. So throughout the week they have like different events and whatnot, and you know, you have different restaurants participating. It's something that you have in various cities around the country. I found out about it maybe like a few weeks ago and decided to come out. You get like a little box to carry your food. You also get 2 chips to vote on your favorite restaurants. My first time at the arena.
So Atlanta Black Restaurant Week is a week of promoting Black restaurants from around the metro area. With the NOSH event, you pay an entrance fee, and various vendors have booths set up where you go from booth to booth, sampling dishes from various restaurants. It's a great way to learn about restaurants and try their food. Throughout the year, various communities in Atlanta have these kinds of events where quite often they're called Taste of Whatever. The most popular, I think, would be Taste of Atlanta. And basically the way that it works is that vendors, they set up either food trucks or tents and tables and whatnot, and you pay an admission fee, you go in and you can sample food from the different vendors. The nice thing about this one is that it's inside. So despite it being in August, when it's really hot outside, you're in a nice air-conditioned environment. It's at State Farm Arena. So, you know, it's a nice, cool environment, good security and whatnot, really great vibe, very positive environment, great experience.
So I'm going to try as much as possible to get a lay of the land. Try something from at least one thing from each place. Start loading up my box with some food. Fair amount of space. You got like a reasonable amount of vendors, but it's not like, you got like a decent amount of people, but it's not like super crowded. Granted, the event started at 7 and it's now just about 7:30 or so you'll probably have more people filling in later on. Thank you.
And I'm gonna find you too.
You mind if I record you? I'm found you. Alright, well now I'm gonna get ready to plug into what I got. Start off with the croquette. I'm assuming it's some kind of fish, like a little Parmesan crisp. Pretty good, nice and fresh tasting. And I said this is someone that's not like a big fish fan, but it's not fishy at all. Honey bourbon chicken bite. It's okay, a little bit too salty for me. This is the mango. That's really good. It has like a strong mango flavor, but it's not like super sweet. It tastes more like a nectar rather than juice. And now for the spinach shrimp dip. It's a little bit salty. Got the oxtail.
I didn't watch the rest, so I can...
Nice and tender, savory, slightly sweet. Really good flavor. Short rib and collard green egg roll, or soul roll as they call them. Like you got the wonton wrap on the outside, it's nice and crisp. Nice tender short rib on the inside. The collard greens have like combined with the sauce. Like tastes like there's a little bit of vinegar in it. Combined with like a really nice flavor. I recommend that. Let's try some desserts now. This is cobbler. Harbor House. It's pretty good. But the flavor is good. It's a little too sweet for me. I don't think you'd be able to eat much of it. It's alright. Like the small quantity is fine, but I think if you were to get a full portion, it would be too sweet. This is their red velvet banana pudding. It has like
What's your name?
Kimberly Sargent. And the bubbles are really good. I've had like bubble tea in New York, but usually it's like little tacos of Sarah and Rose. You eat them, they're chewy, they have like a texture to it. But they don't really taste like much of anything.
Yeah, it's a different grade.
Like Alright, now for round 2. I'm gonna go further in and see some other places, see what they have. Okay.
Cookies and cream. And cookie, which is a brownie cookie. Spread Margate, the chocolate cookie, banana pudding. Salted caramel, red velvet brie.
Alright.
Baked girl neck.
Finding you? Yes, please. I did pretty alright here. Got a little bit of everything, racks and racks of plate now. And here I have like round 2 of my plates. So I've got like this little shrimp bite here. It's pretty good. It's got a nice texture to it. Not a lot of flavor though. It's not bad. A little bit of crunch to it. This which seems to be like some kind of maybe pulled pork or pulled chicken. It's like a pulled pork, like a barbecue pulled pork. It's pretty alright. Has like some peach flavor to it. There's like a piece of potato, but I don't really eat potato with the carb, so I'm gonna skip on that. Then here you have this short rib on cheese grits. That's actually really good. The grits don't have a lot of flavor, but like they're really soft and light. Super tender, good flavor. The grits though, they don't have like a lot of flavor, but it's like eating a cloud. It's like super light. You know, sometimes you might eat grits and it can be a little bit grainy, but it's like super smooth, super light. It's a really good combination. That's actually really good. Now we got this brisket. It's like a smoked brisket. Really nice and tender. Simple flavor, but I see that as a benefit because I find sometimes with beef, I don't really care for the taste of it. It can be like certain cuts of beef. I find it can be a little too earthy tasting. Where like I don't really eat much beef because to me a lot of it tastes like liver. But this like is nice and clean, really tender meat, very like clean taste to it, seasoned just right, so it's not too salty or anything like that. Not a lot going on with it, but it's like in its simplicity, it's still like really really good. Back to the short rib. I'm gonna try this jerk chicken now. It's kind of like a shredded jerk chicken. Like, I know from making jerk chicken like on the grill, generally grill it like in the quarters, it's like the legs, the drumstick and thighs, and then chop it up after, put sauce over it if you want. So it seems like this, they probably did that but shredded it a little bit as well, which isn't a bad thing. It's a little bit different than how it's usually served. But you imagine like if you have gravy and whatnot, you pour that over, it's just going to help the meat to absorb all of that flavor.
Okay.
It's good. Like just the right amount of spice. The only thing is that for me it's a little bit salty. But granted, when I say that things are salty or say that things are sweet, that's because I don't cook with a lot of salt. I don't use a lot of sugar. I actually avoid like using sugar. So it's like what might be salty or overly sweet for me might be just fine for other people. So it's actually really good. It has like good flavor. It's very well seasoned. The meat is nice and tender. It's been sitting for a little bit, and like I walked around getting stuff from other places, so this one is now like a little bit cool, but it's still like really nice and moist. Let's try the rice. Rice is good as well. And you know, plantains are plantains, can't go wrong with that. Now, let's try to get into this crostini, which is like, it's crostini with, like fig flesh and a little bit of cheese, some tomatoes on top. It's like really good. It's like a nice combination of, you got like crunch from the bread, you got this rich creaminess from the cheese. It's like sweet, savory combined. Really nice combination. I'm gonna get into this dessert, which is like, it's like a cronut with little chantilly cream, crumble, and some fruit on top. Cream kind of tastes like pudding. It's the second thing I've tasted that tastes like, you know, that Swiss Miss pudding from when you were a kid? It tastes like that. But this isn't like overly sweet. With the cronut, a little taste. This is really good. But it's not like very sweet. Like everything, it looks really pretty. It's a nice dessert. But I like desserts like this that have good flavor, but it's not like sugar forward. So it's like when you eat it, the different components have different flavors to it, but it doesn't taste like you're eating a spoonful of sugar. When we get into this banana pudding, it seems like quite a few places have banana pudding. Good banana flavor. It's like, I eat bananas, I eat desserts, but somehow I don't really care for banana flavored desserts. So it was only just like maybe a year or two ago when I first tried banana pudding for the first time. And it was that a coworker brought it for a potluck. I tried a banana pudding before, and it wasn't bad or anything like that. It just tasted like the bananas were like super ripe. You know when bananas are like really ripe, they have like that strong banana-y flavor. And so it was like a little too much for me. But this here, it's like it has like a nice mild banana flavor to it. But it's not like overpowering. It's not like that overripe banana flavor. This is actually really good. It's like just a mild banana flavor. It's not too sweet, nice and light. Really, really good. And so from the same place, which is Black Girl Bakes, they made this banana pudding. We also have this galette. And that's good as well. It's pretty much like an open face pie. I would say for the first round of things that I tried, pretty much all of the savory dishes were good. I think there was just like one thing that was a little bit too salty. The desserts were kind of okay. With this round, the savory dishes were good as well, but I think the desserts were better, or at least more to my liking, because they weren't quite so sweet. And I have this shrimp thing here. A breaded shrimp with what looks to be maybe some cream cheese or something on the inside. I'm actually going to take off this wrapper thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's pretty okay. Whatever this white filling is, I'm not too fond of that. It's like it's a little too fishy tasting. Not fishy as in that it's unfresh, but there's like a fish taste to it, and I'm not the biggest fan of fish, or like regular fish. I'll eat shellfish though. The shrimp's actually pretty good. Get back to this banana pudding. I like this banana pudding, man. It's good. It's like light, good flavor, not too sweet. That's what this is right there. Thank you. back for round 3. And this is going to be the last round because I'm getting pretty full. I've got this shrimp wonton thing. It's like spicy shrimp with a pineapple slaw. Wonton is nice and crispy. The slaw is nice and refreshing. And you can't go wrong with shrimp. Ooh, it's like spicy, but not like super hot. It's like got like a smoky kind of peppery taste to it, but not overwhelming. There's a little bit of char on there, like this barbacoa tostada, the fried plantain with some meat, crema and whatnot on it. The meat has like really good flavor to it, but like because it's sitting on the plantain, like it's a little bit, it's not soggy, but like the texture is a little bit off. This is the jerk mac and cheese. It just tastes like mac and cheese. Back to fruit tea, the bubble cafe. This is the pina colada. And their drinks are actually really good. Like again, not overly sweet, nice and fruity. The last thing to taste is going to be the jerk wings. And I say this to someone that eats like spicy food. It's like too hot. But with this here, it's like the juice is more like a nectar, where it's not like sugar water. It tastes like actual fruit from the actual juice from the fruit. And then it's like when you pop into the bubble, it's like liquid with like a skin on the outside. Whereas with the bubbles that they had, it was just really tapioca bubbles, and they didn't really taste like much of anything. But these are really, really good. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. I think officially that's it. I'm full. I'm done. I'm good to go. So that wraps up my outing at Black Restaurant Week. I think it was definitely cool to check out. The tickets were, it was like $50 for admission, and then with taxes and fees and whatnot, it came up to about $60, $61. You got like a good amount of food. The stuff was actually really good quality. You had like good options for everyone, be it, now granted, not a lot of options if you were vegan and vegetarian, but there were at least a few things that you could eat. If you don't have like dietary restrictions, you had even more options. The food was like good quality, so it's not like you came out and it was like, you know, like super cheap things or what have you, where you felt you were getting like hustled. You actually got good value for your money. In the past, I'd been to other events, like I'd been to Taste of Atlanta when I first came, and I went for like a few years when I first came down here. But sometimes with events like this, you'll find that some of the vendors, they'll have like things that repeat. So you go from place to place, and it's like you'll have multiple places that are doing fried chicken. But here you had like a really nice variety. Really, where you saw some duplication was more with the desserts. So you had a few places that were doing banana pudding or bread pudding. But as far as like the savory dishes, a lot of variety. So I feel like you got like good value for your money. I think this was the 5th one that they've had. And hopefully they'll continue to have it in years to come. It's a really great opportunity to get out and to familiarize yourself with some Black-owned restaurants around the city, and certainly worth checking out. You know, with that, I think definitely worth it. Had a great time. I don't think I tasted anything that was terrible. It might just be that it wasn't for me. By the time this video comes out, Black Restaurant Week could be over, but you can just put it on your calendar, set a reminder for next year, so that way you can come out to this event, and then also check out other restaurants. You can go to the website, it'll still be up, and you can check out some of those some of the restaurants that are listed and visit them, show them some support. So done at the event. It was cool. I think it was worth coming out. I don't think I'll be living in Atlanta, or I'm hoping to not be living in Atlanta next year, so I probably won't come back again next year. But it was cool to attend this year. And if you're in town next year, if you live here in Atlanta, I would say keep an eye out, come out, check it out. It's a good way to support Black restaurants. I always try, like, when I go to various cities in the South, or even when I travel outside of America, like going to London and places like that, I try to seek out Black-owned restaurants I try to go on Black History tours. Check out that kind of stuff and show like Black restaurants and other companies support, because a lot of times they don't have the same resources that other restaurants and companies and organizations have. So it's a good way to show support. And it was a cool event.
The only downside was the experience leaving the event. Leading up to the event, on the day of, I received like some emails, like some, know before you go kind of things, which had information about State Farm Arena's bag policy, what you could or could not bring in. And then that was like early on in the day. And then maybe like a few hours later, I got another email, 2 actually, with like additional information. And this contained information instructing you to park in the whatever parking lot it was, which was right across from the venue. And I was like, okay, fine. Now, went to the event and everything, parked in the lot and whatnot, and noticed like quite a number of other people were arriving at the same time when I did. We were all going to the same event. And it wasn't until like I left the event, had the ticket, getting ready to drive out, there was like a parking lot attendant there, but like an automated machine. And I'm thinking, I'm just going to like put my ticket or something in the bin or whatever and drive out. She's like, that'll be $15. And I'm like, for what? And she's like, for parking. And now, given that they'd sent this email instructing you as far as like which lot to park in, and there was like no mention of like what the cost would be or whatever, my assumption, which I guess looking back on it would be foolish on my part, was that as part of your ticket, because the ticket was like $50, $60 with like taxes and fees, that it also included parking, because they took it upon themselves to tell me what lot to park in, and so, $15 for parking, it's not that bad. I was there for maybe 2 hours or so or whatever, but it was just like, I would have preferred like just add that in, or specify like, hey, parking is going to be paid, rather than this thing of, park in this parking lot and that's the end of it. It was like, I feel like the communication could have been a little bit more clear. Not the end of the world, but, it was like a slightly annoying little thing at the end there.